Namaste, Pranam, Gita Dhyanam. Om Bharthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitam Ritavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Ambatvam Bhagavad Gite Bhavatyeshinim. Oh, Bhagavad Gita, with which Lord Narayana himself gave enlightenment to Arjuna. The ancient sage Vyasa included it in the Mahabharata. O goddess, showerer of the nectar-like knowledge of non-dualism contained in your 18 chapters. O my affectionate mother, the destroyer of rebirth, I meditate upon thee. Krishna Vandana. Vasudevasutam devam kansachanuramardhanam devakim paramanandam krishnam vande jagadguru. O son of Vasudeva, slayer of Kansa and Chanur, extreme delight for Mother Devaki, O Lord Krishna, supreme teacher of the universe, my salutations to you. So today we will be reading the 24th Shloka of the Karma Yoga, the third Adhyaya of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Yesterday in reading 23rd Shloka, Sri Krishna has told us categorically, he has told Arjuna, he has told us, to Partha and to us, that if he doesn't perform actions, if he doesn't get involved in doing the karma, majority of the people, the ordinary people, they will take that as precedence and start keeping themselves away from doing any karma. And that happens. How can the Prakriti function? They have to act. They have to get involved in some activity and show that as the role model, perform, to always keep engaged in the action. I am also performing the action. But if the Lord stops performing action, what if the Lord stops getting involved, getting engaged in doing any karma? That also now Sri Krishna is telling here in this 24th shloka. Utsīdeyur lokā na kuryāṁ karma chet aham sankarasya cha kartā syah upahanyām imāḥ prajāḥ. What Sri Krishna says, utsīdeyur lokā. Utside is would perish. Utsīdeyur would perish. What would perish? Lokā. All these worlds would perish. On account of what? Na kuryāṁ karma chet aham. Cheta is if. Chet na aham kuryāṁ karma. I do not do any action, if I do not do any karma, all these worlds will perish. All this creation, it will just cease to exist. And if this happens, then whatever plan, the plan with which the Prakriti has manifested herself from that Paramatman, all that plan goes haywire. And then what happens? What will happen? Sankarasya cha kartā syām upahanyām imāḥ prajāḥ. Sankarasya, admixture. Sankara is basically admixture of two races, two castes. When everything is finished, there will be no morality left. Whatever are the surviving beings, and there will be admixture of races, admixture of the castes. The kartā, syām. I would be the author. I would be the reason for creating that admixture of races. When the Prakriti, when all these worlds are on the path of destruction, there will be so much of confusion that there won't be any ethical values, there won't be any moral values, no morality, no ethics, and there will be just admixture of the races as the things start getting destroyed, getting perished. Upahanyām, imāḥ, prajāḥ, and thus it would lead to the upahanyām is ultimate destruction. It would lead to the total destruction of prajāḥ, imāḥ, these people, these beings. As this if I remain inactive, what is going to happen is this world would perish. These worlds would perish if I do not perform any action. And then I would be the cause. Then I will become the cause for this admixture of races, this admixture of species, this admixture of castes. And I will be responsible for destruction of all this entire creation, all these beings. So this is what will happen if I don't perform any action. It will lead to total destruction. To be devoid of function is equivalent to be dead. It is only the dead bodies who don't perform any action, for that matter. The difference between the two is very little. The difference between the person who is alive and who is dead, the difference between the two is very little. The body of the dead disappears while that of functionless drags on a wretched existence. Now, if there is a person, if a person dies, fine, well and good. No action, no activity, no thinking, no activity for that dead body. But if a person is sitting just idle, doing nothing, then that existence, that life is of no use. It is a wretched experience. It is, in fact, that life, that living being is a burden to the society. Is he doing anything? Is he doing any good? Is he bringing any good to others? No. The fellow is just whiling away his time, sitting idle, doing nothing, just eating and making merry at the cost of all other people. What is the use? What is the use of that kind of wretched living? Fostering the body is common, high and low. The difference, therefore, between the two cannot be known merely from bodily existence. It is not just the bodily existence that will bring out the difference between these two beings. It is action which will bring out the difference between who is actually living and who is in real dead. A person doing nothing may be as dead as a dead body. If life got confined to physical level only, there would be no difference between the refined and the crude. There won't be any difference between the enlightened and the ignorant, between the virtuous and the vicious. If that was the yardstick of judging the way of life that a person is leading, it is only through the actions that we can make out. It is only through the karma that the person is doing we can definitely say whether that person is actually living or he is actually dead, whether person is actually knowledgeable person or he is ignorant person, whether the person is virtuous or vicious. So it is only through actions. If he is just sitting dumb, You may not be able to differentiate between that dumped person and the dead body also. Only the action brings out that differentiation. This leveling down would mean confusion of species. This leveling down of, I don't know whether that man is living or not. This kind of nishkriya, naishkarmya aspect of a being will bring in that confusion. Whether that person is living or dead, we don't know. And that is kind of an admixture. That possibly is an admixture of the race itself. Whether that race is living or that race is dead, we don't know. So that is, and that kind of admixture, when that kind of confusion creates, is the nation living or is the nation dead? We talk in terms of nations also. Why only person? There are some nations who are so active. We always look at them for something good happening out of that. And there are some nations, they are so low, they are so inactive kind of. We don't even take a notice of those nations they are living on this earth. And that is as good as admixture of the race itself. And this in turn results in total destruction of all those beings in that place. Through the meticulous performance of one's dharma, one's attainments get exemplified. The level of one's evolution becomes self-evident through the discharge of one's duty. It is only through discharging one's duties for dharma that has come to his lot that one can actually set a path of enlightenment. Where karma is kept in abeyance, the distinctions get lost. When a Buddhu fellow, a dead fellow, just sits idle doing nothing, there is no path of his improvement, of his elevation, whether physically or spiritually. There is absolutely no chance. If Ishvara, the cosmic intelligence, does not induce his beings in their respective functions, then confusion of caste is bound to take place. If the Lord he doesn't set himself as an example of performing the action, what happens? All other prajāḥ, all other people, all the followers, all the beings, they start following him in being actionless. And that creates whole confusion. That starts the destruction of these three worlds. And with the destruction of these three worlds results in admixture of the castes. And with the admixture, now this particular, the Sankara word Sri Krishna has used, this was exactly the word Arjuna had used in the Arjuna Vishad Yoga while telling Sri Krishna that why I don't want to fight. Because if I fight, all these people will die. All these people will die, and all the women folk who are left behind, they won't have any morality. They will they will lose all morality and start having relations with anyone and everyone, and that will lead to the sankara, that will lead to the admixture of caste. And that, giving that as the logic, Arjuna had tried to convince Krishna that he won't fight. And Sri Krishna, the great teacher, the Jagat Guru, taking clue of that word Sankara, which Arjuna had used in the Arjuna Vishad Yoga, now he is telling, on the contrary, my dear friend, it is if I do not perform any action, the real Sankara, the real admixture of castes will take place. Because if I don't act, if I don't perform any action, the three worlds are going to be destroyed, are going to be perished, and that is when actually the Sankara will come into effect, the admixture of races and the castes and the the hybrids, they will start coming into effect, and ultimately that will be the reason for complete destruction of all these beings. So it is not that what you are talking will cause the sankar. If I don't act, if I don't do karma, then definitely that sankar that you had talked about, that will happen. And that will be the cause of the entire destruction. So that is Sri Krishna's wonderful advice to Arjuna and to us, that let us not avoid our duty, let us not escape from what we are supposed to do, what has come to our Lord. Let us perform the action. Let's not allow Sri Krishna to give us an opportunity of saying that, oh, Sri Krishna is not doing any action, he's not engaged in any work. Why should we? So let us not give that opportunity. And Sri Krishna is not giving us that opportunity to emulate his actionlessness. That's why. Otherwise, he can conveniently refrain himself from doing any action. There is no need. Merging in the self, remain in the bliss. What is the need to perform any action? What is the need to be born as Krishna? What is the need to become Arjuna's Sarathi in this war of Mahabharata? So that's Sri Krishna's advice to Arjuna and to us in the 24th shloka of the Karma Yoga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sri Krishna Arpanamastu. Jai Sri Ramakrishna. Jai Thakur. Jai Ma. Jai Swami.